Well, hey y'all, welcome back to Life with Nana. I'm Nana, and I'm so glad that you're here today. Today we're going to do something fun, I think. I have this chicken. Papa cut the backbone out, and all the organ meat we put in the slow cooker, and we'll be making broth with that. So what I want to try to do is to see how many meals that I can get out of this one chicken. So tonight we're going to have roasted chicken. We're going to have rice. I've got that already going in the pot over there. And probably some kind of bean or something like that we have on our shelf. And that's going to be dinner tonight. And then after this cools down, I'm going to take all the meat off the bones. I'm going to put the bones in the slow cooker. I'm going to add just a tablespoon of vinegar because that helps draw out all the goodness out of the bones and gives you a really nice bone broth. I wanted you to come along with me to see how many meals we can make out of this one chicken. So the first thing I'm going to do, let me find me a towel. Okay. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some room temperature butter, and I'm just going to push it all up and under the skin of this chicken. This part is a little messy, so we're just going to do the best we can. And I'm not worried about putting my hand back in this butter because I'm going to use it all. I'm just going to put it on the outside and up and under the skin. That's going to be really good. I've got my oven preheating over here in case you hear it beep. Y'all know Nana can't hear the beeps. So, all right. So that looks really good. Now, let me wash my hands. Okay. Because I want to use this roasted chicken in other applications, I'm going to keep the seasoning somewhat plain. So we're just going to put some pink Himalayan salt all over. And let me get me a paper towel. I'm going to flip it over first and put the seasoning on some of the bottom. I have some onion powder. And I have some garlic powder. Now, let's flip her back over. And then, again, I'm not worried about touching this bowl because I'm going to wash it as soon as I'm done. This is the garlic powder. Smells like garlic powder. Smells wonderful. And this is the onion powder. Let's get this in the oven, and I will bring you back when this is finished. Okay, well, our chicken just came out of the oven, and it looks fantastic. We have some rice, and we have some pinto beans. Those are the ones that we canned together. You'll be seeing that in an upcoming video. I had some cornbread in the freezer, so I'm just going to fix a plate, and we're going to be ready to eat. So I like to mash my cornbread up a little bit so I can get me some of this good juice. I should have had Papa come in here and cut up this chicken for me, but I think I can get a piece. I think I'm just going to take a leg. There we go. All right. Got a little bit of store-bought tomato and some rice. Whew, my plate's hot. So our first meal looks like a feast. That's going to be hard to beat. All right. So when we come back again, we will have all of the meat taken off of this chicken carcass. Then we'll put the bones over in the slow cooker. We'll just let them go all night tonight. And we'll have some really good bone broth. And then with the meat, we will come up with a couple of more meals that we can make out of this chicken. So I'm hoping to get 3 meals out of this chicken. And so we'll see if we can do that. Today is day 2 of how many meals can we get out of one chicken. So yesterday I roasted the chicken in the oven, and we had that in the slow cooker. I put the back of the chicken and all the bones after we took all the meat off the carcass. So I put all the carcass in here with water, and I let it cook all night. And so it's been cooking probably almost 24 hours. So it's looking really good. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to strain out the solids, and I'm going to get a half a gallon jar already jarred up, and we'll see how much we have. First thing I'm going to do is fill this up so that when we get ready to make our soup, that will be already kind of settled down a little bit. All right. We're going to move that to right there and let it sit. And the rest of this broth is going to go. Let me move my over. Put this up on here. Okay, so the rest of this broth is going to go into this half-gallon jug, and I might not need all of that. And if there are any little bits and pieces, I will strain those out later. It's not a big deal. All right, I'm going to have to get something a little smaller. So let's get our ladle out and cook this. Try not to spill it everywhere. You can see here, let it kind of settle a second. You can see how that fat starts to settle at the top. And there's nothing wrong with that. And all I did was season this broth with salt and garlic and onion powder. So the meal that we're going to make with this today is a soup. And I'm making this because this morning I had a doctor's appointment. So I had to have some tests done, and I came in. It's cold here in North Alabama, a lot colder than normal for us. And of course we were cold and we were tired and all that. So I said, I already have the broth cooked. I already have the chicken cooked. All I have to do is put all this together. I already have the rice cooked, and we can make a fantastic soup. And that can be our afternoon meal. And I love to cook like this. So what I have is 4 cups. 4 cups of broth. And I'm not going to, we'll see how much of this we get used. All right, try not to get too much of that fat in there. And I can pour that in here because I can put this in the refrigerator when it cools down. And tomorrow, all of that fat will be solid, and I can just pull that right off of there. All right, so the next thing I have to add here is a little salt. I have about a half a teaspoon of garlic salt, and about a half a teaspoon of onion. And then I have just a little bit of poultry gravy mix that I'm going to add in there. And that's going to help when this gets to boiling. That's going to help thicken this up just a tad. We don't want this to be really thick. We just want it to thicken up a little. I have 1 can of cream of chicken soup going in there. All right. We're just going to stir this up. It's not going to take this long to come up, and everything's done, so it's not going to take it long until we can sit down and eat. Now, once we get through making the soup and we get it on the stove and we get it hot and all that, Papa's going to come in and he's going to make us some grilled cheese to go along with this. And I will show you a plate of that, or how we plate that up. So I'm going to put, probably about, this held about 4 cups. So probably, if I smooshed it down, it would have been probably more like 3 cups. So 3 cups of cooked rice. I'm just going to try to break that up. And then I have about 2 cups of chopped up chicken. I'm going to put that in. So, and I still have chicken for tomorrow's meal. And we'll see what we can come up with and make with that. So let me get this on the stove. Okay. My pan is a little full, but that's okay. Everything will break down as it warms up. The rice is a little clumpy. We'll just keep moving it around until it gets to boiling. And once it comes up to a boil, it's ready. You couldn't have anything any simpler than that. This is one reason that I love doing the thing like the chicken. Baking it, you have a meal. You've got another meal here. I'll have at least 1 more, if not 2 more meals off that 1 chicken for me and Papa. You can't hardly beat that. And when I cook rice, I go ahead and I cook 2 cups of rice at a time. And I do it in the Instapot. It's so simple. And we have rice in the refrigerator. That's something Papa really enjoys having in there. And he can mix up something really fast if I'm not here, or if he just wants something and I'm not hungry. So this is going to be so good. So let me get a little spoon and let's see if the seasonings, it's not hot, but let's see if the seasonings need adjusted. I'm just going to do the broth. I'm just going to add a little bit of salt because I think it needs just a tad of salt. And we'll add just a little bit of pepper. I'm not a huge pepper fan, so it'll probably be like 1/8 of a teaspoon. If you like more, put more. And when I get mine in my bowl, I'll probably add poultry seasoning to mine because that's something I like. Papa doesn't care for that too much. But we're going to just get this cooked up, and it's 1 more meal. Well, all right. You can see what a great meal we've got from the leftovers from yesterday, and we'll have another meal tomorrow. And it just looks wonderful, and I can't wait to dig in. So I'm going to let you go, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Well, welcome back. It's another day, and today we're going to see if we can get meal number 3 out of this chicken. We started out on a quest to see how many meals that Papa and I can get out of 1 chicken. Today I'm going to make enchiladas, and now this is Nana's enchiladas, so this may not be exactly the way you've seen enchiladas done, but I'm using what I have, and this is the purpose of this particular video is to use what you have. So the first thing I want to do is get a little bit of enchilada sauce in the bottom of my pan here. Now, I have some seasoning mix. Okay, I have some chopped onions. I have about 2 cups of chopped chicken from our chicken that we roasted. I have about 2 cups of sharp cheddar cheese, and I have about 2 cups of rice, and I have some leftover pinto beans, and I did open a can of refried beans and added a little bit of that to this. So what we're going to do is we're just going to layer these and fold them into an enchilada style wrap, put them in our pan here, cover them with sauce and cheese, and put them in the oven, and they are going to be wonderful. So let's get going. Are y'all ready? Let's get going. All right, so the first thing I want to do is to take a little bit of this pinto bean, refried bean mix, and put that down. So on top of the refried beans, I'm going to add some of this rice. This is rice that I cooked and I just had it in the refrigerator. I'm going to add some chicken. Doesn't take much for each one. Got my towel. I'm going to add a little bit of onion. You could omit this if you didn't like the onion. And I'm going to add just a little sprinkling of this seasoning mix. Not a ton. And then we're going to add some cheese to the top of these. So I'm going to roll the sides together, and then I'm going to fold the flap over, and then I'm going to roll this again. And we have a nice little package that will go into our pan here. I don't make this every day, so we're going to make it work. All right. We'll finish off these pintos. And finish off our little bit of rice we had left there. We'll put our onions on. We're going to use all of those. We're going to put some of our seasoning on. I'll save a little bit of that to go on top. We're going to use the rest of the chicken. And we're going to add some cheese. Look how easy that was. Let me turn her around. For some reason, I tend to do it to the side. Okay. Now, we are going to get this down in there. Doesn't that look good? Awesome. We're going to pour some enchilada sauce over the top. Oops. I'm going to put this on a cookie sheet because I have a feeling my pan is a little small. And then we're going to cover the top with the cheese. And then we're going to add the rest of our spices right to the top of this. Okay. Doesn't that look pretty? That looks good, right? Well, all right. Look at those beautiful enchiladas. This is going to be a fantastic meal for Papa and I and for a friend. And it's all made from that chicken that we started with 2 days ago. I have enough chicken for one more small meal, and we'll see what we do with that tomorrow. I hope you have a wonderful day. Here they are plated up. They look fantastic. And they were so, so good. Well, hey, y'all, welcome back. Today is day 4 of how many meals can we get out of this one chicken. So today we're going to be making Nana's version of calzones. And we're using what we have in the house. Remember that. We are participating in that challenge. So I had bought some rolls that were frozen dough balls that you just thaw out and then cook. And so I had a bag of those left from the holidays. So I got out 4 of those this morning and I let them come to room temperature, and I have put them together now, and I'm going to roll them out. My kettle is probably beeping back there. Remember, I can't hear the beeps, so if it is, I'm sorry. So I have some freeze-dried pico de gallo that we did back in the summer. We bought some tomatoes and different things from local farmer, and I'm just going to rehydrate this. And then this is the same thing, but I ground it up to make it into a powder. We're going to add water to this freeze-dried pico de gallo so that it will rehydrate. And I'm just going to keep pushing it down in there so that it will stay under the water. And then we'll drain this, and it'll be fabulous. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to rehydrate this powder. It smells really wonderful. If you like that pico de gallo flavor and smell, you'll love this. Okay, so I don't really want it this thick, so I'm going to add just a touch bit more because I think it's going to soak up just a little bit more. Plus, I'm going to be putting some herbs in it. And these are freeze-dried. They smell so good. Italian seasoning mix. It just has basil and thyme and oregano and all of the things. So I'm going to start out with a teaspoon. That may seem like a lot, but we're going to see how this goes. All right. Now we're going to let this sit, and I'm going to put it up here. And we're going to let it sit for the length of time that it takes me to get this rolled out. Now what I have here is 1 cup. This is the last of the chicken. So 1 cup of the chicken. I have about little less than maybe a half a cup of onions and peppers that I sauteed. And I have about a cup of cheese that we're going to be using. So we're going to roll these out. I have some water here. And I think that's all we need. I have my pan to bake them on. I have my oven preheating at 375. And we're just going to go from there. So all I did was I let these rolls come to room temperature this morning, and then I put them under a towel, and we had some errands to go do, and I just let them rise. I'm really proud of the amount of meals that we got from one chicken. I think that's really great that Papa and I could take one chicken and get so many meals. And I think we could even get more, if we needed to, if you were in a situation where you really needed to stretch it even further. And of course, one of the best ways to stretch your food stores or soups and stews and that sort of thing, maybe casseroles, because you're adding a lot of different products together, and so you're not using up a lot of one thing. And okay, so I think this is going to look really good. So let's see how this is looking. So this is looking really well, looking really good. See? Nice thick paste. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use about half of this on this one. I'm just going to spread this around. Okay, this is our pico de gallo that we rehydrated in this. So I'm just going to put a few little pieces in there. And then I'm going to put my onions. One of my favorite things is onions and peppers. Sauteed. I love that. And then we're going to use our chicken. And then we're going to have some Parmesan cheese and some sharp cheddar cheese here, about a cup. I'm not going to use all of this. So, okay. Now, we're going to turn this around. And I'm going to kind of stretch it a little bit. Now I'm going to put some water on about half of my pastry thing here. And then I'm just going to fold this over. And there we go. That looks super. And then let me move this one so maybe you can see what I'm doing. And then I'm just going to put another little bit of round of water on it. And I'm just going to fold the edges over onto itself. Just like that. Wow, isn't that pretty? All right. Let me get my bench scraper. And I'm going to take this, and I have a foil-lined sheet, and I'm just going to lay that on there. And we're going to do the other one. And I'm just going to fold this in over itself. Make a pretty little crust all the way around. All right. And on the pan it goes. Okay, now the last thing I'm going to do is make an egg wash to go on this. So I'm just going to use one egg. I'm going to add a little bit of heavy whipping cream. And then I'm just going to give this a little wash over the top. Should make it nice and golden. All right. And then the last thing I need to do is to cut a couple of vent holes in the top. So we're going to put these in the oven and we're going to cook them. I'm going to say probably around 30 to 35 minutes. They turned out. One thing I did want to say though is if you don't have the ingredients that I have, you can use simple pizza sauce. You can use marinara sauce out of a jar. It's fine. I happen to have that, so that's what I wanted to use. I'm trying to use up the things that we have preserved before I buy things from the store that I already have. So you could put fresh pico de gallo on it if you wanted to. And that would be great. Make it with beef. You can make it with pork. You can make it with any leftovers that you have. But we're trying to use up this chicken. And if these turn out well, that's going to do it for our chicken. That'll be 4 meals that we have gotten out of one chicken, and I think that's fantastic. So let's get these in the oven, and I'll bring you back when they're done. Look how delicious these look. Yum. Okay, so we are going to try one and see how they did. Look how delicious that looks. All those wonderful layers and flavors. So let's take a bite. These just came out of the oven, so they're pretty hot. Mmm. Y'all. Y'all. Wow. Those are fantastic. Oh my goodness. Mmm. Such flavor. That pico de gallo um, sauce that we made, that was super. That was really good. You could, I think it would be just as good with pizza sauce, but you could use, you know, any kind of thing like that that you have. But I'm really proud to have this pico de gallo powder that we made from our freeze dryer. That is fantastic, y'all. That is so, so good. I'm so proud of us. We took one chicken and we made 4 meals out of it. So we had, on the first day, we had the roasted chicken with sides. The second day we had soup because remember we had been to the doctor that day and we came in and we were kind of in a hurry, but we had all this stuff prepped. That's what's so great about doing projects like this is you have things in your refrigerator. You can put together a meal very quick. So we had that creamy chicken and rice soup that with a grilled cheese. That was so good. And then yesterday we had the enchiladas, and I still have some of those in the refrigerator for later. And today we have the calzones. I think every meal has been a hit. Every one has been a success. I am so thrilled with what we accomplished with that one chicken. So I want to say I love you, and I'm so, so proud of you. And if you give something like this a try, put it down in the comments and let us know what you're cooking. It always helps our channel to grow. If you like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell, all the things that that helps the channel to grow, which is what we're trying to do here, is to get our channel to grow. So I would appreciate it if you haven't subscribed already, if you would subscribe and give us a thumbs up. Nana loves you. I hope you have a wonderful the rest of your day, and never forget you have a friend here.